Yeah, coming off the game against Nashville, watching it, you guys got the point, but do you feel like you should have got more out of that one?
Definitely feel like we should have got more. I felt like we had a lot of the ball. I thought we defended well through large stretches of the game. I think in the end we have to be more efficient in our final actions. What we talked about a little bit today was there's still opportunity inside of our possessions to create a little bit more danger, but then there's also just we need to execute when we get into good spots. And we can either have a lot of the ball and control games and create a little bit less chances and control games, but then we need to be more efficient with our final actions, or we can be a little bit more direct in our attacks, create more chances and maybe be a little bit less efficient, but we have more chances, but then you're going to defend a little bit more as well, right? So for us, it's that balance between, again, about the directness of our attacks versus the control that we have in our attacks, still creating good chances and being efficient with our chances. I believe there was 3 points in that game for us. Obviously we know what the penalty kick situation, but I also thought just in the run of play there was more chances for us to punish them, and we didn't execute in those moments. We need to be better there. Like I said, I think the last several games we just haven't given up many opportunities to the opposition. I thought where they got a little bit of danger was a couple of times maybe in the transition or down the left side, just the speed of Schaffelberg could create some crossing situations, most of which we dealt with. But that was, by and large, that was it. I thought we were pretty efficient about our performance, and I thought on the road it was a good performance, deserved more.
With 5 games left, if you draw out 45, you might not get you there.
Draw out is not the intention here. Draw out is definitely not the intention. In my head, I have an idea of what that number looks like. Look, I'd like to see us win at least 3 of these 5. And see where we're at with the other 2, and then I think we're in a real discussion. I do, though, in some ways, I like the way we're trending in terms of what we're doing. I think there's a real confidence in the group. I think there's clarity in the group. I think we're finding kind of our rhythm with this group of players. I think guys are settling in. And now there just needs to be a ruthlessness about punishing teams. When we get to that chance, you just need to bury them. And we're kind of allowing teams to stay in games because we're not as ruthless in that final piece as we need to be. And we can get that little bit. I know that's saying a lot, but if we can get that little bit, then I think we're in a really, really good spot.
You going up to Vancouver with Koulibaly?
Yeah.
And
Raheem
out.
Yep.
I saw Sega's yellow. I thought it was a little.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's walk through that series. First of all, it's not a foul on Raheem. When the goalkeeper kicks the ball to the sideline and Raheem impedes the guy who wants to head the ball to let him go out of bounds, that's not a foul. That's happened since the beginning of soccer. It's a smart play by Raheem. It should not be a foul. The ball gets put down and put into play. Their player, CJ, is clever. He gets in between Sega and the ball and kind of stops and creates a fumbling mess. But the ball is out on the side of the field where nothing is going to happen. So only if you're a referee that wants to get involved in the game do you make a call like that. Otherwise, you go talk to the 2 guys. It's a dead play on the other side of the field. It's a nothingness. The handball for me is difficult because it's a jumping position and it's kind of inside of his body. It's tough. I don't know. At the end of the day, we're asking guys on a wall to have their hands behind their back or to do something that is, but when you're jumping, your arms naturally are going to come up in the air. It's difficult. So for me, there's 3 moments on that play that are kind of nonsense. Outside of that, I thought our defending was solid. It's going to be difficult. They're a good team. They've scored a lot of goals, so you're going to have difficult moments, but I thought it was solid.
Going into Vancouver, Cavallini's out again. He didn't play here, but he's out again. How does that sort of change their look and everything?
They have, whether it's Cavallini or White, they have Ricketts. These are big, strong, fast, hard-running forwards. They're a little bit flirting with different shapes because they were in a 3-4-3 for the vast majority of the season. They've looked now for a couple games or a few halves at playing in something that looks like a 4. So they're certainly questioning or challenging themselves as to what can give them some results here down the stretch. That's a tough position for them to be in, but we ultimately have to execute upon our our game plan, and we need to execute in our moments. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who executes inside the box, and we've had our opportunities to do so and haven't. And we haven't given away many chances in the last couple games, for sure. But we still managed to take one for one reason or another. So it's about execution for us. It's certainly about performance, but it's going to be about execution.
And the penalty kick situation is always a hot topic. As a coach, how do you sort of let the guys delegate who takes it? We saw Ricky step up and take the second one.
Yeah.
It looked like Dejan wanted to take it, and how does that all sort of?
Yeah, it will be. We'll define it a little clearer now. But for me, there are veteran guys on the field who've played a lot of matches, who've stepped up in big moments. This was at times how it was dealt with in teams that I played at. If you're a consistent guy and putting the ball in the back of the net and you want that in the moment, sometimes it's if you're the one that gets fouled, you don't take it, somebody else takes it. There's sometimes rule. For me, the rule is if you're confident and you step up and you're clear about it, then step up and put it in the back of the net. They're older guys, between Victor and Javi, who are having the primary discussion on the first one as to who will hit it, and they're looking at each other for trust in each other, who's going to take that, and so Javi stepped up and went for it. I think on the last one it was just a matter of who's going to take the ball and put it down and put it in the back of the net. It became less of a discussion. It's something that we will clear up as we move into the next games to make sure that we're all set.
Mm-hmm. So you never laid out like, hey, you have to take it. You never laid that out like as a.
No, I mean we have our our primary guys. Generally, if Sasha's on the field, he has stepped up. Lately, it's been Javier who's buried a couple, but then he's obviously had a couple moments that he'd like back. But generally, I think it's who's confident in the moment, who's been in a rhythm. It's sometimes hard if you're a guy who comes off the bench to grab a ball and put it away, which Sasha's done from time to time. Victor has taken a couple. So I really believe it's who's in the rhythm of the game, who's in the mindset of the game, and who can finish it. But we can also clarify that for them for sure. That could come to me as well, and I can do that for them.
The way you came out in was that a 3-5-1-1 sort of?
It depends. For me, shapes are for paper, right? That's it for me. Like I know a lot of people want to make soccer about shapes and formations, but really ultimately it depends on the opposition and where you want to try to create your advantages, where the gaps and where the holes are. For us, it's about creating overloads in different areas of the field, and sometimes it's not always the same. One of the things that we will have a base structure that we play off of, and then we will defend. We will defend with as much clarity as we believe we need to have based on what the opposition is doing, and we try to attack with as much clarity as we believe we can based on the opposition. But there are certain shapes that we look for inside of it, but it's not necessarily the same every game because the oppositions each play different. They try to defend you in different ways, and so you need different movements. You need different, right? So these are. It's not. You're never going to put me in a box as it relates to shape. So, but there was a couple of things in terms of that we needed to adjust. I felt like to be more effective in terms of where we were positioning our numbers. And also, as I learned more tendencies of Ricky, for example, then it will help inform me as to what his tendencies are inside of the game to try to impact the right spaces for him, if that makes sense. And so, what we talk about and then what guys actually do inside of a game, it can be slightly different. And so, there's some things inside of this that we want to adapt as we go into the next game, because there's a couple moments where I felt like we were deficient in numbers in certain areas of the field where we needed to be more present. So
everybody came out of the game healthy?
Yes, yeah, everybody came out healthy. Unfortunately, it's the
two center backs
the red cards or yellow cards that were given out like candy don't do you well at this time of the year. I watch other games and guys are hammering each other off the ball and don't get yellow cards, but we were getting yellow cards for nothing. So it's tough when you're at this point in the season and things are on the line for referees to be simple with the yellow cards is tough.
Yeah. Great.
All right.